yo, your friendly neighborhood quarter guy here, and welcome to 2017! Yeah, 2016 is finally over, but regardless of your thoughts of the year, we can't deny that it happened. Well, let's hope we can make 2017 better, shall we? But enough with the generic New Year's message. I want to discuss something about Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Recently, an alleged leak was posted regarding the roster of the final game. And I want to go over it and maybe analyze a little bit of its credibility. Alright, first off, on the Marvel side, we have Iron Man, already confirmed, Captain America, already confirmed, Captain Marvel, already confirmed, Ms. Marvel, wait, I thought that was Captain Marvel, Thor, Loki, Hulk, Hawkeye, Black Panther, Black Widow, Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Venom, Daredevil, Iron Fist, Luke Cage, Ghost Rider, Punisher, Ultron, Thanos, Star-Lord, Rocket with Groot, Doctor Strange, Gwenpool, Squirrel Girl, Bing Bang Boom, Wolverine, Magneto, Storm, and Doctor Doom. Now, the Marvel side seems credible for the most part, especially regarding the fact that, well, this is including any possible future DLC, well, planned DLC. The last four, I believe, are, according to the leak, well, according to the alleged leak, are DLC. The characters prior to that seem in line with the possible report that this game is going to focus more on the MCU, which explains stuff like Star-Lord, Ultron, and Daredevil and Luke Cage. So that seems at least somewhat credible. However, on the Capcom side is where the grains of salt come in. Okay, on the Capcom side we've got Ryu, Rashid, Chun-Li, Zangief, Gil, Morrigan, John Talbane, Tessa from Red Earth, Mega Man X, Sigma, Roll, Strider Hiryu, Jin from Cyberbots, Captain Commando, Edward Falcon from Power Stone, Asura, Jean from God Hand, Dante, and by that we mean the original Dante, not the Dante from the reboot, Leon, Kennedy, Ada Wong, Wesker, Nina from Breath of Fire 2, Spencer from Bionic Commando, Simon Blackquill, Phoenix Wright, the Rathalos, Date Masamune from Sengoku Basara, Batsu from Rival Schools, June from Star Gladiator, and Frank West. Now, this half is where some of the grains of salt come in. First off, Nina would be an odd choice for the Breath of Fire representative if there is one. June from Star Gladiator would be an odd choice to represent Star Gladiator, especially since we've had Hayato, the series' main character, in Marvel vs. Capcom 2. But the big red flag for me, and what really makes me skeptical of this alleged leak, is the presence of Rathalos. Now, both Rathalos and Fin Fang Foom are listed as giant characters, not dissimilar to what we had in Tatsunoko vs. Capcom with Gold Lighten and PT-40X, I think it was, from Lost Planet in that game. But here's the thing. According to an article I read somewhere, the Monster Hunter staff didn't want their series represented in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So that's what makes me suspicious of this leak. Also according to the leak, the main villain of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite would be Ultron infected with the Sigma virus, which honestly would make a pretty good concept. But it's interesting how many characters from lesser-known games would be are represented in this leak. As for me, I'd say that I am... My my official stance on this leak is that I'm skeptical of this leak. I'm taking it with, like, a truckload of salt. But I guess we'll ultimately see. Also, another red flag, seeing Gil on there. I mean, final boss of Street Fighter 3 in Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, especially considering what he's got. They would have to nerf him quite a bit, or if they were to include him in this game, considering his infamy from Third Strike and Street Fighter 3 in general. But like I said, this leak seems pretty suspicious. I'm honestly skeptical on this one, but again, we'll see. Now, for updates. I've got my rough draft done for QG Talks regarding the ending of Mega Man 7 and the 3 Laws of Robotics. I'm just running it by a few proofreaders to make sure I got my facts right, because the last thing I want is for this to end up on a commentary. After that, I've got plans for February. A year after my top 10 favorite Pokemon, and given the recent launch of Sun and Moon back in November, I figured that my list for February is going to be my top 10 favorite Alola Pokemon. Now, this won't include Alola forms. That I would put on another list if I were to do that. But for March, given the impending release of the Switch, I'm thinking of doing my top 10 Wii U games then, as a proper send-off for the 8th generation Nintendo console. Now, for my question of the week, do you know... Let me start over. Question of the week. Do you have any New Year's resolutions for this year? As always, leave your answers in the comments. Favorite comments will be featured in the next episode. Here are last week's winners. And with that, time for the Fourth Wall Mailbag. As always, send me your questions via YouTube messages. Go to my page, click the About tab, click the Send Message button, and I'll answer my favorite questions on the next episode. First question this week comes from EJLX Flame Tales, who asks, what was your reaction when you saw Colress in Pokemon Sun and Moon? Well, I really wasn't that surprised, given that the battle tree was already a facility for showing off characters from previous generations coming back to battle with the updated battle system. Still not surprised that Cynthia's got to make a Garchomp. That being said, Colress was actually a nice surprise, and the fact that he actually had a couple cutscenes to give you stuff like the Flame Charge TM and the drives for Genesect, that was actually a nice touch. It would be nice if his theme got remixed as well, though. Maybe if there's an updated Pokemon Stars, which wouldn't surprise me. Well, at least somewhat wouldn't surprise me, given that we didn't get a sister game for X and Y. Maybe we'll see more trainers from previous generations show up. Like N, maybe? Next question comes from Simon Saki Kim, who asks, what kind of characters would you like to see in a future Arcana Heart game? Relevant, given that it's been announced that a new Arcana Heart game is in development, hopefully a new numbered entry. For one thing, it would be nice to see at least one male character. If the story were to take a more serious turn, that would pretty much be a good idea. I have an idea for like a sporty character who would have like special moves like involving a soccer ball or something like that. I'd honestly also like to see a Scythe wielder in the game. I mean, we haven't seen a Scythe wielder yet, and I think it would be a good weapon to use in a fighting game that's this out there. Other than that, I'm not really sure. I guess we'll have to see what comes up when it happens. Next question comes from Zach the Thunder King, who asks, hey QG, since JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4 is done, what are your thoughts on the series? I would say that Diamond is Unbreakable was gure todaze. I like the art style that they went with. It really fits with the shift in art style in the manga. Josuke was a really great protagonist. There were quite a few likable characters. Koichi's a precious cinnamon roll. Jotaro was cool as ever. And Kira as a villain was just he was creepy. He was genuinely unsettling. Especially not only given his ability but his personality. How he was just disturbing. Given that he was a serial killer who just wanted to live a quiet life. Yeah, good luck with that. But overall, I'd say Part 4 was a great part for JoJo's. Now we'll just have to see if Part 5 gets animated. Of course they'll animate it. Why wouldn't they? Yeah. Next question comes from Alan Wright, who asks, what would you say is your least favorite Pokemon from Sun and Moon? Well, I would have to say Pyukumuku. I look at Pyukumuku and I see missed potential. Yeah, it's a sea cucumber move with an ability that essentially allows it to use its innards to attack opponents who attack it. Sad thing is, that's its only means of directly damaging its opponent. It learns a total of 0 attacking moves. All its other moves are either status or support. Granted, it could probably see some use in a supporting role in doubles, but a Pokemon that's only useful in a supporting role is not how I do. Could have been so much more. Final question this week comes from PSB123, who asks, what is your opinion on the incident of Nintendo losing stock to the Super Mario Run? I'm gonna say this. Stockholders are fickle people.